Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome everybody back to another video on the channel. Hope you're having a good day. So obviously I've been playing a lot of Cold War Zombies, and ever since the game has released, I've started to realize that there are some specific in-game items and very rare occurrences that can happen in your game, although it's going to require you to get very lucky, and this definitely doesn't happen to everybody. And so today we're going to be looking at the top 15 rarest items that you can get in Cold War Zombies and why some of these circumstances are so unbelievably rare. This should be a pretty fun video today, so sit back, relax, and if you guys enjoy the video, all I ask in return is a thumbs up. That would be incredible. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, as it is completely free. And not to mention, at this rate, pretty soon we'll be at 400k, which doesn't even sound real to me, but either way, I greatly appreciate the support that you guys have been showing the channel. I know I say that a lot, but I really want to drive home how unbelievably grateful I am to you guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the 15 rarest items that you can get in Cold War Zombies. So coming today at our number 15 spot on this list is going to be the body armor vest drop. Now, this is not to be confused with just the standard plates. This is the actual vest itself that, if you don't have any armor at the start of your game, is going to give you basically one slot or one shard of armor. Now, if you do already have full plates of armor, picking up one of these vests will completely replenish everything that you've lost. And while they're not incredibly rare, they are pretty rare to get in the early game. Usually you're going to end up buying armor at the arsenal before you get one of these drops out of zombies, because they don't happen all the time. However, if you've put any amount of time into the game, even more than playing 30 rounds or so, you've probably come across this armor vest at least one time in your life. It's interesting to note the fact as well that aside from the armor shards that will automatically apply, running over the armor vest does not actually give you your armor back. You have to manually interact with it in order for it to replenish your armor. So this, you can actually use this to your advantage if you want, if you get a little bit smart with it, but certainly not the rarest item in the game, but definitely felt it deserves to be on the list. Coming today at the number 14 spot, we have monkey bombs. Now, these are craftable in game, so getting scrap or salvage for them to build is really not that difficult, but getting monkey bombs as a drop comparatively to the other pieces of equipment that you can get from just natural zombie spawns, the monkey bomb tends to be a bit on the rare side, and for good reason. They are incredibly useful in this game. You know, not only does their damage scale along with the rounds, but they hold the attention of the zombies for much longer than anything like the decoy grenade or even the stun. It's just, the monkey bomb is actually one of the most useful items, whether you're playing for Easter eggs or high rounds or whatever it is. All around great utility, but pretty rare nonetheless to get from a natural zombie spawn. Coming today at the number 13 spot is something that we all absolutely love to see. This is getting the ray gun on an early round. There is almost no better feeling in the world when, you know, you start your zombies game, you're on round 6 or 7, you take your first hit on the mystery box, whether you're playing solo or with your friends, instantly pull the ray gun. There's almost nothing that quite tops it. I've seen a lot of people in my comment section saying that they play for like 20 or 30 rounds and are still never ever able to get the ray gun, and it's just like, it feels bad because sometimes you pull it on an early round, or sometimes you literally don't get it until round 40 plus. My advice always is, if you're struggling to get the ray gun from the mystery box, play to round 40 and then save all of your points until then start hitting the mystery box, because the luck seems to be a little bit increased specifically for the ray gun after about round 40, or at least from what I've been able to tell. I don't know if the numbers can back that up, but that's definitely been my experience and a lot of others. But either way, getting the ray gun on an early round is seriously one of the greatest feelings, but it doesn't honestly happen all that often, so it is a quite rare occurrence. Moving on, coming today at number 12, we have an occurrence that can still technically happen, but is a lot more rare now that patches have come to the game and they have made some adjustments. But this is double perks. So originally, if you played Cold War Zombies in about week 1, you may have noticed that while you're doing challenges or getting some things out of your rewards, you were getting twice of the same perk, and even double jug for a while there would give you 300 HP. It was a glitch, it was a little bit of a bug, but sometimes you can still get 2 of the same perk that you already have, and it would stack actually down below where your perks are, and you'd have 2 of the same one. Looked a little silly and goofy, and it doesn't happen much anymore. The effects don't really stack in on each other, but it can still happen from time to time, even despite all the patches. I've seen it happen a little bit to other people, and every once in a while it'll happen to myself as well. The game generally gives you whatever perk you don't currently have, but sometimes it messes up and will give you one of the same ones that you have already acquired by other means. But either way, getting double perks is a pretty rare thing to do in this game. Moving on though, coming today at the number 11 spot is a drop you may not have even known existed because it's not part of the regular drop cycle in D Machine. You can get it pretty easily in Onslaught, and I think you can get it in D Machine doing trials. That's the only way I've ever been able to see it. However, the full power drop basically looks like two swords crossing. It fills up your specialist or your field upgrade meter all the way immediately when you pick it up, and I believe the only way to obtain it is through trials in D Machine. I don't think there's any other way to get this drop spawned in your game unless, again, you're playing Onslaught, and it's kind of weird. I don't know why this isn't part of the drop cycle right now in Zombies. That might change in the future, but you know, they have added this drop in for a reason, although I believe in regular Zombies, let's say, it is incredibly rare. If any of you guys have been able to obtain the full power drop in D Machine not using trials, let me know how you did it because I would love to know. Otherwise, I don't think it exists. Moving on, however, coming in at our number 10 spot is going to be a pretty rare drop item from regular Zombies. This is the self-revive pack, and this is pretty rare because, again, this item is craftable technically within the table if you have enough of your materials and scrap, and it costs just as much as a chopper gunner pretty much. However, I would say that getting it out of Zombies is way more useful because not only is it free, but it is pretty rare. Now, if you're playing like a lot of high rounds, you'll come across this every so often, and oddly, it has a kind of interesting drop rate for early rounds, like when you don't even need it. On round 6 or 7, you can get these on like dog rounds, and it's really weird. Sometimes if you take an early down for whatever reason, or if you are high rounding and you make a mistake and you don't have enough scrap to craft a new one at the time, sometimes this is the most clutch thing that can happen ever, but there's really no way to instigate it. You know, it's kind of just an occurrence. If you get lucky, then great, you know, you can keep playing your game, but if not, then you are screwed. Either way, the self-revive drop is pretty decently rare, I would say. Now, moving on today and coming in at our number 9 spot is going to be using the trials, and this is getting a free perk from them. Now, the main reason I'm categorizing this as decently rare is because I see a lot of players usually redeeming their rewards after they've done like 1 or 2 trials just to get like something, you know, relatively nice, like extra scrap or a double points or whatever it might be. But if you push your, you know, rewards all the way to legendary, you have a decent chance of getting a free perk out of it. However, it's still not guaranteed. You might have to do a few trials, at least 3 or 4, to even get one free perk because you can end up getting weapons, you can get like other drops, or really anything. I will say getting free perks in this way is not as rare as some other methods we're going to talk about, so it is relatively reliable if you're going to go about it in this sense as opposed to some other ones. But if you do happen to be doing trials and you're not getting perks for whatever reason, then don't worry because they are kind of rare. Coming today at the number 8 spot is going to be receiving the Die Shockwave or the Wonder Weapon from the trials. Exact same method as we just spoke about before, redeeming it from your challenge podium. And to get the Shockwave, especially in a co-op game, this is the most reliable way to go about doing it. Now, obviously, you do have to push your challenges all the way to legendary and redeem it if you want any shot of getting the Wonder Weapon from it, or your other only choice is to do the Easter egg that gives you 1, or to hit the box. But other than that, if you want to obtain the Shockwave, you have to kind of play your luck by doing these trials. And again, it's really not guaranteed, even if you do it over and over again at the highest rarity. It's kind of comes down to luck of the draw at that point. So I would say that it's about like kind of mid-tier as far as like being some of the rarest items in the game. I found that it usually takes no more than 5 legendary reward redeems to get the Wonder Weapon, and that's like on the very unlucky end. You know, sometimes you'll get it on the first 2 or 3 tries, but sometimes it might take you up to 5 if you're really unlucky that day. Now, coming today at our number 7 spot is obtaining the Die Shockwave, not from your trials, but from the Coffin Dance Easter egg. And the gameplay you're watching is literally the only time I've ever got that to happen. I wasn't even planning on recording this game, and then I got the Die Shockwave, and unfortunately I didn't go all the way back and record that part, but this is how I obtained it that early. I had my Juggernog from the thing as well, and then the Die Shockwave, and this seems to be like the speedrunner strat. If you can get the Shockwave from the, you know, Coffin Dance box, you're pretty much good to go, and you don't even have to do it with the key card or even hit the mystery box whatsoever. If you plan on doing the Easter egg or just upgrading it for whatever reason, you don't have to go through any of those other processes to do it. I do the Coffin Dance Easter egg literally every time I play the map, and I've only ever gotten the Shockwave 1 time, so that seems to me that it's a fairly rare occurrence in D Machine. Coming today at our number 6 spot is going to be obtaining perks via breaking the purple crystals while you're in the Dark Ether. And when I made my original ultimate guide to this, I pretty much recommended always breaking these crystals while you're there. There's pretty much no reason not to, and if you're efficient with it, you'll get some extra rewards that will, you know, help you push you along your way. But very rarely in this game, you can actually get free perks, and at that point, anyone in the game just by breaking these crystals. And again, it doesn't really happen that often. Getting them from the trials is actually a lot more common than getting it from these breakable, you know, shards. Most of the time, you're going to get ammo, or you're going to get essence, or even armor shards. Those are the most common drops out of these, but every once in a while, you might find yourself with a nice Juggernaut can, or a Speed Cola, or an Elemental Pop, really anything in the game that can assist you as far as the perk selection goes. You'll get it out of the crystals from time to time if you do play this game enough. Just like the Coffin Dance Easter egg, I do this every time and very rarely get perks, so it has to be pretty high up on this list. Coming today at the number 5 spot is a pretty common thing to do, but still a very rare occurrence, and this is pulling a legendary weapon on an early round. And I'm classifying early rounds as pretty much anywhere from maybe 5 to about 20 or so. You just feel like you get in these really weird loops where you cannot pull anything past a purple, and you're trying to get those legendary guns, you know, so you can get the max amount set up and then, you know, put all your money towards pack-a-punching that one. Sometimes it really feels just like an effort in futility trying to get a legendary weapon early, which is unfortunate because sometimes you just got to spend all of your hard-earned scrap on an epic weapon to make it fully orange, and then you kind of just wasted everything that else you wanted to do with the rest of your guns. It's kind of a tragic situation, but it does happen. Every once in a while, though, you will pull a legendary gun on an early round. Now, coming in today at number 4 is a fairly rare occurrence that I don't even know if every player knows can happen. So this is going to be acquiring a chopper gunner from the mystery box. And honestly, because this and also self-revives are fairly similar in terms of how much scrap you need to pay for them at the table to acquire each of these items, they are not the same at all in terms of how likely it is to get it naturally. So from zombie spawns, you can get the self-revive pretty rarely, but every once in a while. Chopper gunners are a lot more difficult to get from the mystery box. Now, I will say the higher round you're on, the more likely it is that you will get a chopper gunner from the mystery box, but it is an extremely rare occurrence nonetheless. I would say that you're almost more likely to get the ray gun just straight up than you are to get a chopper gunner. I just think it's so funny when you see that helicopter sitting in the mystery box. It looks like a toy. It just looks like a little model or something. It doesn't look threatening or dangerous at all like a chopper gunner should be. I just think it's one of the most charming aspects in the entire game, although a very, very rare occurrence to have happen to you. Coming today at the number 3 spot is obtaining a weapon class you may not have even known existed. So you guys know that red is your loadout weapon, your bottom tier, and the mystery box and wall weapons don't give anything below a green rarity. However, these crystals can give you gray guns, and as you can see when I pick this up at the bottom, this is not even a green weapon, which is basically the lowest tier gun in the game. This is gray, which has to be a step down. And at least in my experience, I don't know if you guys have had the same occurrence happen to you, but you're actually more likely to get at least green rarity weapons when breaking these crystals in the dark ether than you are to get a gray gun. Like, it just doesn't happen that often at all, at least to me. I get green way more often than not, and obviously getting a gray gun is not something that you want to have happen because, again, it is the most bottom of the barrel, and it's going to take even more scrap just to go and upgrade. You may as well throw the gun right away. But personally, I find it just so fascinating that this weapon class exists, and there's hardly any way to obtain it at all in the game. You can't get it from wall weapons. I don't believe the mystery box gives you anything below a green ever, even if you hit it on round 1. So that's pretty much a no-go. Gray guns exist in the game, but they are kind of rare to get. Coming today at the number 2 spot has unfortunately never happened to me ever, but this is the ray gun jump scare. So sometimes you'll be playing D Machine, hitting the mystery box on an early round, pull the ray gun, and then something else will jump out of the box with you as well. And this jump scare can be activated via an Easter egg in a different way, but specifically the ray gun jump scare does not happen that often, and to be quite honest with you, I don't know what causes it because I've gotten the ray gun on early rounds and nothing ever jumps out of the mystery box at me, and I've seen Twitter clips of it happening to newer players and people all around, but I don't know what it is that causes the trigger. Maybe it's just a super rare occurrence, but if you've ever had this happen to you, then you are actually one of the lucky or unlucky few. Whether you've had this happen to you or not personally, it is just a pretty cool occurrence to have happen. So finally, guys, coming today at the number 1 spot, it has only happened to me one time, and I don't know if it's going to happen much more. Now, I've seen some pretty crazy Twitter clips of this, but if this has happened happened in your game, then definitely let me know. But getting the ray gun multiple times when you already have the ray gun is insanely rare. So getting the ray gun in and of itself is difficult enough, but getting it again and then maybe a third or fourth time in a row, the chances of that are so infinitely low. You may be one of the only people to have ever done it. Most I've ever been able to do is get the ray gun out of the box twice in a row back to back, but other than that, I've seen some Twitter clips of somebody getting the ray gun 4 times in a row and taking them all out of the mystery box for his friends, and it's actually insane. If you ask me, this would probably have to be the most rare occurrence ever, and every subsequent ray gun you get after getting it once becomes even more exponentially rare. So I don't know if this has happened to you guys. If it has, let me know in the comment section down below, and also let me know what is the rarest occurrence that has ever happened to you in zombies, or what's the rarest item you have ever acquired. I would love to know down below. But that is going to be it for the video today, guys. Those are the top 15 rarest items in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. If you guys did enjoy the video today, all I ask before you go is to leave a thumbs up. That would be insane. Subscribe if you're new to the channel before you leave, before you forget. And also, I do stream zombies nearly every day over on Twitch, so if you don't already follow me there, then make sure to do that. Link will be down below in the description. But thank you all for watching once again. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and peace out.